Hi everybody, Mature Simmer. Welcome back here to Farmers Only Club, Hobo's Hollow, and I am back to get this farm moving again after just a couple bad coincidences. They're basically, I messed up on understanding what was happening as far as the calendar, and thought I had more time to harvest and didn't, hence the dead crop over on the side there. So I wasted a good amount of money. And then was heading out of town, so I didn't do anything the next coming season because I knew I'd be having to harvest and sell when I was not there. And then between being gone and feeling a little under the weather and so forth, well, more than a little under the weather, let's be honest, it was hard to talk. It still is. I'm still recovering, so I apologize if things might not sound quite the same, but doing what I can. But definitely excited to be back and ready to go. But we're here in March, which means we're going to be able to get crop in the ground, so we're going to do our normal process, get oats in here, and try to go ahead and make some cash. But the big thing is we've had several people leave the server. We've got hunks here in the center that are open, and so I'm kind of waiting for things to come up. I honestly don't know that, other than maybe something like 31. It's interesting. What is 63? Just that little strip? I'm not even sure what that would be. Like, is it this? But I've not seen anything come up for auction, which is really weird. I've kind of gone back in the history, because one of the farmers that's still here let me know that, hey, there's like land possibly available if you want to add a little bit. The question really becomes, are any of those smaller plots anything I really want? I mean, they're not terrible. They're basically there, I think, through the trees, because the one next to the one that's painting in there now is 34, which is really the one I was kind of saving up for that had been made. I had been told was available. That's likely still what I'm looking for. And beyond that, I'm actually not sure, because this is the first time I've been on since I've been told that there's stuff available. So, I mean, this was something that I think one person owned, and I think someone else might have been the same. But I think there are two people that have left, but I think one of them was very small in their holdings. And it's possible, although no, I think 18 and 19, I think Lomeric had these. But I think there's 5 of us here now where there were 7. But if you remember last time, which I know has been a while ago, I had gone ahead and upgraded my water capacity. As you can see, it still takes multiple trips, but it's just 3 really that I need. So there you go, I'm done. That greenhouse is now full, where before I was doing about 10 per greenhouse, so it was quite a bit of time when you had to come in and do it. But I've definitely been derelict of my responsibility for the farm here. Likely cost myself $25,000. Hesitated there because I saw it was still in euros. I was working on Hills of Tuscany last night before I went to bed, so knowing that I had to get over here, but did not set my finances before I started, so apologize for that. Now we are on dollars, as we would be in this series here. But, definitely had in the back of my head, I got all this work to get the water done. I could have kept things going and probably, ultimately in the grand swing of things, I probably cost myself $50,000, because not only did I lose $25,000, I would have probably made that much over the time as well. So I wouldn't have gone down, and I would have accumulated on top of it. But it is what it is at this point. Can't cry over spilt milk, as they say. And, we're just going to go forward and deal with the water and try to keep things operating as they should be, so that we can get to the point and be in a position, because that was one of the things when someone said, oh, there's all this land available. So I'm like, well, I don't have a lot of money available, and I'm not looking to take out loans because I'm not that desperate to expand. You know, I'm still not sure that I want to expand because I can barely keep up with what I have available on my farm here as it is. But the plan today is pretty simple. Let's go ahead and get moving on the farm at the start of a year and get things going. So on my financial tracking, I'm probably just going to go ahead and just add this to the year that I planted everything and then did nothing, because in essence that's kind of what's happening here. So I'm just going to have an excessive amount of cost going into these fields. You know, because the other thing, and that it will be, I don't know that I'll be able to know or any of that. It is curious to me if, since I didn't harvest, if the field and the depletion of the field still occurs, or because the crop withered, it didn't. Now, logically, it should, because the plants grew, they drew the nutrients out of the soil, and so forth. You know, I don't know, and so the hope is at least I didn't lose that, but I'm thinking I did. So I need to stop, like, giving myself some, oh, it wasn't so bad, Mature Simmer, you didn't cost yourself as much money as you think you did. So I need to kind of stop doing that. Alright, so we're just going to immediately start filling the greenhouse a little bit, because that way that greenhouse starts growing, because we gave it a few hundred liters of water. So what I had done is I had hit the I key, which is why you saw it go away. So if you recall here, I just go ahead and let it go, and then it keeps filling as I'm dumping, and so it just keeps going and fills things a little bit quicker, and more importantly, I really don't have to move anywhere. Now this is just filling at this point. It just takes a while to fill something that's this large. But for those who don't watch other series on the channel, I'm trying to be transparent and let people know, in addition, kind of what else has imposed that is impacting the channel. You know, I've talked about real life requirements and things getting a little bit heavier, and you know, that definitely has been a part of it. But I also went ahead and I've talked about in the past, possibly if I ever got interested in Flight Simulator, that I could see it could be a life-consuming situation for me, because I know there's just got to be so much there to learn. And through the various processes, really it started with getting into Tower Simulator 3. That kind of snowballed into a situation where I have gone ahead and in about the last month, I think I'm a few days away from it being a full month, I have been a Flight Simulator simmer as well. And I think by now I will have put out at least one video on the channel from my flight sim experiences. You may have seen that and also been wondering, you know, what's happening. But I was kind of joking in some of the other places, mainly in the golf series, because that was the situation. Was I'm hoping people aren't starting to wonder, is this becoming a golf-only channel? Because that was all the videos I had for about a 2 to 3 week period. Things have started trickling out. I'm still not at the point where I have some sort of sim video every day along with a golf video every day. The golf videos every day have pretty much kept up. I think I'm finally full, because now it's refilling. Or no, it's refilling. So I think I'm okay here. Let me just verify. Yep, 20,000. So we're topped off everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and grab our trusty planter. Go get things topped off so we can start up. And I can track it easier. And my intent is to get these things planted and get things moving. And I don't think there's a reason I can't do both fields. I'm always a little hesitant with the time constraints, but to really get digging in and going, like I need to do that. So you can see I'm a little less than focused, enthusiastic, whatever you want to call it, on driving things as hard as I can, because it is challenging. Like, it's a lot of oh, you know what? I think the far one's lime. Again, it's been so long, I don't remember. Oh boy. I mean, I may not be close enough. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, this one is lime, and this one is fertilizer, and it has fertilizer, so what is going on? There we finally go. Goodness graciousness. Alright. So we finally got what we need to get moving, and I just need to get my line set, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So gone ahead, set my line. You can see obviously I ran over crops in doing that, or ran over withered plants. We can't call them crops, they're creating nothing. We're now reseeding and repopulating my fields and finally getting things going here. Now, I would expect when I get to 34 that I'm going to see nothing happening there. Once again, I don't know that there's any reason to think that they've suddenly changed their tune and said, yep, I'm going to actively be using 34 again. I am grateful that it's still here and it's still owned by the same person. It'd be one thing if they left, if they were one of the people that left, but I kind of said, well, please don't sell it to someone without letting me know, because it's possible I might have been like, all right, I'll take out a loan because I really like the fact that that field is right there, and then I can just kind of have things contiguously. And honestly, that's part of my hesitation. However, knowing that my goal is to get 34, that's why I'm okay potentially doing something across the street. I just don't know that I really am that excited about it. I think I'd feel significantly different if I had 34 already. But yes, it's just the same state it's been in before. So there we go. Let's do that. Lower back down. And we've got our normal process going. So for those who might be new to the series, welcome to Farmers Only Club, a multiplayer community with real-time servers that really just kind of allows us to enjoy Farm Sim and doesn't impose a lot of things. I moved from another community that was really not fitting with my philosophy. Sorry for that little hiccup in talking, but I had a little bit of coughing coming out. Should have gotten rid of that in the edit. If I didn't, I apologize. I was more frustrated than enjoying myself in the last community I was in, and decided, when people kept saying, hey, there's this community I'm in, I've moved over here, let me know, I think you'd love it, blah, blah, blah. And I came over, and as you would have seen from the earlier videos, I absolutely have. Still really enjoying it. So definitely was a smart move for me. Worked really, really well. Alright, we're going to get to the point here where I think I'm going to be at least touching upon the last little bit I came out and went over. There we go. We're done there. I have to go a little further because of that field sticking out, but I want to maximize what I've got. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, once I get through this section, I will have planted over everything I've done crop destruction with and run over, and everything should be good. But rather than prolong this any further, because I'm trying to keep these year-long things relatively decent, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, I guess the last thing I have to say on the farming simulator front, I'm still, or the flight simulator front, trying to figure out what and if I might do on the channel with that. You know, it took a ton of time. As I said, I've been here less than a month with it, and I'm already over 200 hours, and that's into the one flight simulator, and I started with another one for nearly a week. I don't have those hours because I didn't buy it on Steam. I bought it direct. I was using X-Plane 12, where now I'm using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And, you know, I've explained that in other places. If you're curious, certainly drop a comment. I'll be happy to tell you if you don't want to go look for it and you're not that big of a flight sim fan, but just curious. Hey, how did you end up, you know, why did you drop X-Plane 12 and go to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and why didn't you do Microsoft Flight Simulator to begin with, and whatever. And maybe one of those days I'll tell the story, but I'm not sure how interesting it is to people to mix and match sims across videos, so I try to not do that too often, because that may cause people to click off the video and say, I don't care about this. So it's one thing to just talk about nothing sim related and talk about life or whatever, like I do in some cases, but you know, bringing in a lot of detail about other sims, people are like, you know, would probably go watch those. So I'm going to leave it at that, but because it is a big time suck, it would certainly be helpful if I could provide some content to the channel as well, so that folks can still be provided with new content and not just have a potential of golf-only channel coming into their mind again like it was before, because that was certainly a big part of what ended up happening that caused that, because I spent probably a week and a half after I returned doing nothing but Flight Simulator, and then that obviously has slowed anything else coming to the channel. Kind of past that point now, trying to get a little bit more sim-to-sim balance going, and we are back here at Misty Hills is the biggest and most important thing for this. Same old as it is for the first day of the planting season. I need to go ahead and plant, and then I need to run my weeder over the fields. So that is what I plan to do. Normally I'd probably pop back and show you the weeder, let you know about when that was happening, but given how much of your time I've taken already, I'm going to go ahead and just get today's work done off camera, and I will see you when we're here, probably ready to drop the second fertilizer, which should be tomorrow. So I know I had said I'd be back in when it was time to fertilize, so we are doing something fertilizer related. We're moving fertilizer to the farm. You can see I've depleted a good amount of my funds. I was already under 300,000 once I was repairing equipment on the farm and so forth, but we've got, you know, basically $180,000 of fertilizer in the trailer here, but that should run the farm for several years, so that won't be a problem to return that investment, unless of course I let crops wither again as I did, but that is certainly not the goal at all. But the other benefit we did get, I talked about, I'm wondering if I get something when it withers. I won't have to fertilize tomorrow. At this point, the fields are considered fully fertilized because it didn't deplete the nutrients from the soil that way. You know, the question would become, you know, is lime the same? So did I, other than spending the money on putting really the seed in the ground, is that what I lost? Because for the most part, then, that first level of fertilization is still in the ground, and then I put in the second cycle with this new planting. So basically I wasted the seeds, which is substantially less waste than I thought. Instead of being, you know, probably $40,000, it might be $15,000, because a lot of what goes in is the fertilizer, and we're getting that full amount back, I believe. So that is always a good thing. But I wanted to at least get in here, let you know where things are at, and obviously this all happened here in March. I am done weeding, like I am done with the work. at this point. I was just topping up my supplies. I have about 88,000 liters of seeds, and I have about 116,000 liters of lime. So I should be pretty good for my supplies for a while, but I'm not quite at the point where this was kind of nerve-wracking buying all this fertilizer, but I should be, to be a comfortable farm, I should be able to just go get a full truck. And again, I only got 100,000 liters because I keep forgetting how large these silos are. I think they're 110,000. So what I don't want to do is, suddenly have a truck that I can't use because I'm going to need it here for harvest. And I don't want to have a truck I can't use because I've got product sitting in it. So I'm going to need some diesel in a bit, but it goes slowly. I just had to fill up one of my tractors. It was about half empty. It went from 2100 to 1900, so we're good there. But fertilizer's now at 103, lime's at 116, and as I said, the seed's at 83. So I'm actually wonderful for all of my products, and it's just a matter now of waiting for harvest. So as long as I don't forget when that is, which again, it's basically 3-4 days from now, so it shouldn't be too out of my mind. And then we have to sit on the product for a while until December, but then we can start doing our straw and getting our our small biogas facility or biofuel facility, whatever we want to call it, that burns the straw, going, and that should at least start forward motion. I did also find out that there are in fact auctions happening. So as I said, we're on server 4 here, so you can see server 4 field 20, and then actually today server 4 field 28. So if I go back here, we've got 28 is here, 20, where is that? Okay, that's up here. So that's certainly further than I want to deal with. But we do have fields coming up. And so unlike FSN, which is what I was used to, so I was looking at the auction notices and nothing was coming up, and that's where, and so when I posted it to kind of another Discord that many of us on the server are on, someone had commented, "Why are you looking at the notice boards?" Which I was not. I was looking at auction notes. And so basically then taking that information, going to the wiki, trying to understand how land works, because I've never really been in a position to do this because we've not had land available on the server until the last few weeks. Basically, if we see something come up in that notice board, we are to contact a realtor and say we're interested, and we're supposed to do that, I think, within 18 hours or something of it coming up. It's relatively quick, and then basically they will post it on the auction board at that point, and then that's where the bidding occurs for that piece of property. And if there's multiple people, obviously, people are bidding, but if it's just one, but that keeps the auction site clear, where in FSN, what you had was a bunch of auctions that would come up and maybe no one was interested. And so you just have things you'd be filtering through, but you didn't really care about any of them. And clearly, since people weren't bidding, they didn't care about them either. So it's the FOC's attempt to keep the auction thread in the Discord cleaner, rather than just being full of tons of activity. So the notice board is where we get that activity, and the auction board is only where active requests are moved. So I'll keep an eye out on things, but as I said, I'm, probably this is the one I really want. It's 31. I mean, again, 29 and 30 might work. Maybe over time I decide make it a little bit bigger, but if 29 or 30 come up first, I guess I'll have to think about it. 30 would be less to think about than 29, but but technically for 28, like, I have enough money to buy 28, so it's possible if these come up, they won't be as expensive as I thought. The one thing I didn't know, we don't have precision farming. I was going to look at the soil types, but everything's kind of the same, and I don't know that I want 32. Maybe. I don't know. It just, once I get to the point of my ultimate goal, which is to kind of automate and do cotton, more land makes sense. But right now I just feel like I'd be buying land and I'd not be working it. And I don't know that that's quite the intent. But I'm also not looking to be a land baron and suck up everything that comes up, because I'm not interested in these. They're too far away. It's it's one thing to kind of deal with these where, okay, yes, I've kind of then have the farm going this way, where again, my preference is still 37, 38. I really kind of like those, and that way everything's kind of tucked away here. And more importantly, they're the right shape for automation to be super easy. So if I want to use more AI, then I can work a bigger farm without driving myself crazy. Because the one thing we've talked about many, many times over the years on the channel is if some sim, through the nature of just requiring the work, becomes a time suck, that's where I start to get, I think, like anybody, kind of resentful. Like, hey, I'd like to do truck simulator, I'd like to do flight simulator, I'd like to do something else, but my God, I need to spend 4 hours on the farm today. So the only reason I'm looking at even getting bigger is because there's AI allowed here in FOC. So it's something I'm toying with, but I think I'd just be treading water if I start using AI now on these fields without being ready to have something more substantial like cotton, which then I could start turning into productions, where I could start turning that into fabric and getting into other areas of FOC that I haven't even begun to explore yet, which is, can I trade material with other people and so forth. I mean, I can do that with the crops now. I haven't even gotten to that. I just do feel like I'm still, which is partially what I love about FOC, is it is challenging enough that I don't feel like I'm established here yet. I still feel like I'm one mistake away from, bankruptcy and having to take out a loan. I mean, I'm down to $128,000 in cash here. And yes, I shouldn't have any more outlay for this season, but it feels too close to the tipping point for me. I'd like to have a much bigger buffer to feel that I can just do what I want to do, and I'm nowhere near that point where I feel I can just do what I want to do. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and step away, and I'll see you in a bit. I am back here, ready to finally get this field harvested, or these fields harvested. So, excited to not have a withered crop. I did try to come in yesterday, and actually, honestly, yesterday would have been a better day from timing with other conflicts I've got, but it's not how real-time servers work. Sometimes you get a day you'd rather not have. I should be okay, but part of what it is I think I'm going to be a little more leisurely on the remaining part of the things here, as opposed to trying to harvest, bale, collect everything all at once or very, very quickly, realizing that basically I just need to get everything baled and collected before I plant again in the spring. So I've got a little bit of time, and so I'm probably going to spread that work out a little bit. So really all I'm trying to do is harvest today. And in theory, I could, I think, take another day, given that I don't understand the calendar, but no, I have one more day. So in theory, if something comes up and I have to leave a little bit undone, I can do that, because I have maybe a couple hours here. It's not going to be enough to get everything done. And so that's always the challenge, is then if I end up having the inability to get back on outside the window that I know I have, what does that turn into? But that gets you what you need to know. I know I talked quite a bit the other times, just because I was getting you up to speed with things on the channel and so forth. So I am just going to continue working away, and I will be back. Back here in the fall, and I've been working away for a little while, more than a little while, many hours. So just keeping up with everything that's going on here. And I'm gonna likely stop in a little bit here once I finish running this field, as I am right now. Hold on, not speaking coherently. So I'm not enjoying this field, I will tell you that, because for some reason things are not lining up. I have to keep moving the row all the time. Now, you know, it wasn't not picking up there because it was dumping a bale, but it basically seems this right side is always leaving a little bit, and it's like 3/4 of the way down the field it shifts or something, and so even if I try to move it, I'm leaving little bits here and there. So it's definitely a bit of a frustration with this. So you can see the little bit over to the right there that's kind of was left when it shifted over. It looks like maybe this row won't be too bad. But I have gone ahead, I've got the straw biogas, or the straw running in the biogas, and nearly have it full. So that's kind of one of my thoughts, is it's not like there's this massive need to go ahead and collect everything and so forth. You know, I'm going to be back here in December anyway to likely sell the oats. So in 2 days, well, 3 days, I guess, you know, I'll be back in here, and by then I can, you know, kind of dump more. And I'm thinking what I can do is I can pick up a whole trailer load and dump it out and leave it on the ground over there anyway, and it'll just kind of keep picking things up. So I think I'll be perfectly fine. I topped off the water. It was about halfway empty in the greenhouses. See, so you can see how it moves over now. And now I missed a little bit, and I'm going to miss a little more. I didn't have this problem on the other field. I don't know why it's doing it here on 36, but it is. So, and I don't think it's anything like an interesting dynamic of I've left the straw in the field for several months, and so it's spread out, you know, through rain or something. I don't think there's anything like that at play. I just think that for whatever reason on this field, when it drops straw, it's a little bit sloppy. I just do not remember having to do this before. Now, this is going to be less straw up here simply because I had less to harvest, because this is obviously how the harvester was running, and half of it obviously had no crop to harvest. But, you know, nothing unexpected has been happening, which, you know, is a good thing. And you don't want surprises in Farming Simulator unless you're trying to do something that gives you those surprises, like, you know, a competition or whatever. But obviously that's not what's happening here in Farmers Only Club. So in any event, nothing really else to share, but that's what's going on. I'm going to pick up 24 of these bales shortly, and oh, goodness gracious. You know what's going to happen. This is going to move over the other way. So it's just, I can't win for losing. But I'm going to keep cursing at this thing for the next 5-6 rows, pick up 24 bales, and then that will be it for a little while. You know, maybe if I don't have anything going on, I'll pop in every once in a while for 20 minutes and do a little bit more, pick up some more bales, go grab the straw that's all over the field. But at this point I figured, well, I can at least get this first pass done. It's dangerously close. No, now it's moving back. Like, it's dangerously close to dropping off on the left side again. But my thought was, let me get this first pass done where I basically don't stop, and at least I have all that collection done, and then it's just the small little strips. 35 is fully collected, just to be clear. I didn't say that explicitly, and so I don't want people to assume, but yes, everything up there is done, collected. So it's baled. Bales were all picked up. So I've just basically been running this field and then just haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm picking up the bales. But you can see now it's like too far on the left. It's still grabbing it though. Maybe I won't have to shift. This is just so challenging. Anyway, enough of my pain and worries. I will go suffer in silence, and I will see you in a bit. Alright, so back here in December, it is time to deliver some oats here. So, go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to start filling up the truck and figuring out where we need to take it. The straw burner or whatever, the biogas, small biogas, is empty. So it has burned through the 800,000 or so liters of straw that I've given it. Again, the challenge is very small opening here for the area. Oh boy, I'm stuck again. Very small opening for the space that we have. Alright. So 247,000, so we're going to have 2 loads, where with the old truck it would have been 3. Alright, so oats. Again, we're looking for things that really are like single digits. So we've got 636 by Bubba Gump. Hobo's is 626, that's the one that's right here, but Reverend Grain, which is close by, 640 is my highest option. It could rise a little bit more, but it's already pretty late in the day, so likely not worth it. In the meantime here, I am going to go ahead, since the price is rising a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start picking up these bales and get some stuff in, and then, you know, we've got a little bit more straw to pick up and so forth, so that is something that I can get on with as well over the next little bit of time, whether it's today or other days, but you know what the drill is going to be. So per the normal situation, I am going to go ahead, basically get this done off camera later. But, you know, we'll stick around here until we get the oats delivered. But Reverend Grain is off to the left, a little bit up north, kind of at the intersection there. Whoops. Almost got that too fast. Oh, I guess we had 6 already. I thought that was the 6th one, so I was just expecting the arm to go down and it to load, but it tricked me. Had me a little bit messed up. But so a little bit less, although I think maybe it was about what I would expect, because I think I was down to like 130,000. I thought I was like at 150, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem like nearly enough for what I put in. But no, I think it does like 50,000 for one full unit and so forth, so I get $75,000 to $100,000, I think, in earnings off the straw that I get here, which is not bad. You know, and let's keep in mind my amount is as low as it is because I basically stocked up on all my supplies. So I'm going to try to remember that I have a bale kind of sitting over there at the edge of the field. So basically I need to get 23, and then I can go ahead and pick this up and come back and get it. But yeah, I've got more than that here on the field. Quite a bit more than that, it looks like. Oh yeah. I don't think I have a whole other load, but I'm going to have a good amount. You know, but at minimum, that gives me some time where it can make some money, and I don't have to feel again like I need to rush in here to go ahead and get this straw completed. Obviously, I'd like to do it before March, so that means I just need to do it in the next couple days. But it's been a busy week. Next week is going to be incredibly busy for me in real life, so it's going to be an interesting time for sure about whether I can, what I can do on the farm. I mean, it almost feels again like the right thing to do would be just to forego the year, but I really would prefer not to do that. But I'm also not required to do straw and all that, although honestly this isn't that time-consuming of a process with the straw. It's the harvest that takes longer. The bigger problem is that I have not checked if I need sorry, I was worried I hit the button too fast. If I need lime. So let's take a peek. Alright, good news is nothing has arrived. You know, doesn't look like anybody's picked up any fields. So, and again, the one I think I really want is this one, but 1.3 million is a long way from 189. You know, this would be maybe the next one if I was to go with anything. But yeah, either way, these are 1.7, 139. So technically I've got a long way to go. I know this is done by now, so it was probably done way long ago. But I had kind of not thought, oh yeah, I'll go do that. But at this point, like now it's burning straw, making me some money. So I probably wouldn't honestly even need to fill it until tomorrow morning or something, but just not sure what I want to do there. But I'm thinking I'm going to easily get over, well, I should easily get over 200,000. Yeah, I might. It's been so long since I sold crop that I honestly don't remember what this will look like, but Reverend Grain is the one right there. So as I said, the nice thing is I've got some good options really, really close by. I always forget there's a guardrail there. Sometimes I try to run through the grass to just be a little more direct, and then that never ends well. Sometimes there's snow and like you can't see the rail as well. But yeah, so basically, you know, there should be like 75,000 or something, probably even a little bit more that I'm going to get off of this. So, you know, we're not going to have quite a full second load. Actually, we won't even have anywhere near a full second load. I keep somehow thinking that 250, but that would be 125, and but this is a 150,000 load. So this will be you know, a good amount. Clearly it's over 75. It might actually be, it's a lot closer to 100,000 than I thought I was going to say. We're up there. But now we just basically have, what, 100? We have less than 100,000, so we have like 90,000, but we'll clearly be over 300,000, so And this is now what you see is exactly why I'd rather not just let the farm sit for a year, because there's money to be made even if I just do the crop. So again, that grass is kind of there. It's hard to tell if people are moving along. I've seen one person actually on the server the same time at any time I've been working all year, and that was Bright. So other than that, I've not seen anybody in the server, so I just really don't know what the activity level is, because I think folks have gotten into a lot of other games at this point that I've seen in a Discord server that they're involved with, and therefore this is just not gonna go. Wow. So yeah, this is a lot of challenge, is all I can say. So okay, hopefully that will work now. So we'll get that filled. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to jump into. I just saw a tractor and hopped in. Trying to efficiently use my time here. So now we'll go collect the rest of the bales, because that I will be able to do. And again, I'm sure the truck will be done, so I may not even finish. I may give it, you know, kind of gut feel of where I think it's at, but you know, it'll take a minute or two for it to fill that 90,000, so it's not nothing. It's really almost 100,000. And it's getting dark, but it is December, so I suppose that's to be expected. Alright. Yeah, there's really not that many. It's almost, well, I don't know, we'll see, because they are appearing up north a little bit more on the field. You know, and I probably have another, I don't know, it's usually 3 or 4 of these rows to fill up, or to grab a bale to basically come up with 11,000. So, you know, I'm probably talking about another 10 or 15 bales that I can get off this field with what's on here. So, you know, there's definitely some volume that I can get completed. I may be surprised. This may be a full... This may fill this up. I'm already at 50%. And there's some bales around here yet. But again, none of that entirely matters. I think by now we are probably done, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the truck. We are in fact done. Because then I can let you go and I can wrap up the year with at least understanding pretty much where we're at, knowing that we're going to get a few $10,000 more, you know, and obviously we'll continue producing, but I'll at least be able to wrap this year's video up for you and finally get one out there for those who are Farmers Only Club fans and get it out in front. So again, 45, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 60,000? Yeah, let's say 60,000. That would be about right, given that it was almost 100 for 150,000. So it might even be a little more than 60,000. So yeah, we might be right about 350,000, which will be pretty good. You know, at some point I'm going to have to lime the field again, which is going to take some time, but this is not the year for that. So that is a good thing. If I had to do that too, that would have started to go into things, because I may have days this week where I really can't do anything on the farm for 3 or 4 day stretches. So it could get real interesting. And we're not going to get to 350, I'll tell you that. We did get closer than I thought, though, honestly. I saw 10,000 and swore we were at like 340, or not even, and I thought we'd barely get to 345, but... but the nice thing is now, as long as I can keep the greenhouses going, and we've got that straw, 400,000 is in sight. Which would be enough for that little field, but just having that little field when I don't have the fields in between, I mean, I think I've settled in my head, I really don't want that little field. So, unless, the way that comes into play is if the farmer who's willing to sell 34 was suddenly to start working it again and be like, no, I want to keep 34 now. That would give me some difficulty then, but I guess I don't really need to park this inside, because otherwise, I'm just parking inside and have to come right back out next time. So shouldn't need it for supplies, but even if I just need it for harvest, like, there's no benefit of it being parked away inside the silo. So I'm going to get these delivered to the biogas facility, and I will not be doing the straw right now, but I try to do it. It may turn into one of those where I'm like, I just don't have time, and I have to plow it under when I plant, because I still likely do want to try to plant in March or April, because otherwise I'm in danger of not getting done, and if I can't get it done by then, I'm probably not going to be able to get it done. So, and then we're looking at maybe a fall planting, which then waits for another year, which in essence loses a year. So I'd prefer, again, not to have that be the case. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you head out, and we're going to call another year here at Misty Hills Agriculture here on Farmers Only Club. And with that, I guess I'll just give the normal disclaimers. If you have not liked the video or are not a subscriber, please consider doing those things, and I will see you next time.